Hello. Tonight on Paranormal Dudes. Wait. Before
Oh my God.
before I get into the intro, spoiler alert. Spoilers, okay? If you haven't seen the movie yet, if you don't know anything about the true story yet, still watch the episode if you're here. But if you don't want to, that's fine too. You can click off and come back and watch this later. But we're going to be diving into the real true story of the Conjuring Last Rites. It's inspired a lot of nightmares that you're about to have. If you haven't seen the movie already, it's July 5th as we're releasing this. July, why did I say July? It's September 5th as we're releasing this. And it's about the Smurl Haunting. Or if you're more familiar with the movies, it's going to be the Conjuring Last Rites. And it's about a family in Pennsylvania claimed their home was under siege by something far darker than just creaking pipes. We're going to get into it. So let's get into it. Let's go. What is up, dudes? Welcome back to the Paranormal Dudes podcast, episode 64. 64. Welcome back. Yes, we have 2 episodes this week again. I'm sure some of you that are mainstays or fans of the show are happy about that. Some of you were, and left us comments about it last week. If you're new here, it's not something that we do on the regular. It's usually 1 episode a week on Thursdays, but we had to do this for special reasons. It's a special, if you will, an episode special about the Conjuring Last Rites, and more on the truer side or the behind the veil is the haunting of the Smurl family. Anybody here? The one person that would be familiar with it, unfortunately, isn't here. Ethan was always very horny over anything that has to do with the Warrens, but he's not here. So, are any of you familiar with the Smurl case? We have, to be fair, we have touched on it in the past. We have touched on it on a Ed and Lorraine Warren episode. That was like episode
like 28 or something.
It was so long ago. It feels so long ago, but it wasn't. But it was episode 45, 42, 42. I'm sorry. So if you want to go back and watch that, you can. If you want to learn a little more about Ed and Lorraine's cases outside of the Smurl haunting or any other Conjuring movie that you're aware of, you can visit that video. It's up there. Here. And to start the show,
Buddy's like me.
We said, huh? I'm gonna have it. Okay. With that being said, we didn't do this last episode with Doug because I felt like we had a lot to cover, and I had a lot of questions for him. You guys had questions for him, and Buddy just sat there in amazement and in awe and stargazed at what was going on. But we had a lot going on that episode. We didn't really get to catch up on as individuals. For you guys, did anything happen that was paranormal in the past week or so? Since the last time we talked, because we're shelling out episodes like crazy lately.
I wouldn't say paranormal, but I've had these 2 weird dreams where I'm looking for something and I just can't and I still don't know what I'm looking
Oh.
for. But there's a bunch of people from like my past, like high school, and like family members, and like my dog is in there too. Like I just don't know. Like I'm running everywhere, looking through stuff, opening, like going all over, but I don't know what I'm looking for.
Right.
And it's a second. Last night I had a dream, same thing too. And I don't know what I'm looking for. Like, oh, but let me tell you this. I watched the Conjurings last week. Why I think I told you guys
To prepare to watch it this week.
to watch, the new one, so I can get freshened up, And I had mentioned the Babadook to my wife while we were watching it. Now in my dream,
Oh, here
he
we go.
didn't appear, but that one statement of just saying like the Babadook,
it resonated.
it stayed in. So when we were in the dream, we were like walking somewhere, and I told her, I was like, "Oh, is the Babadook here?" And like, she's just like, "Yeah, he's here." And I woke up.
Oh no.
And that's always been. And you guys know the story of when I saw him in my parents' house window in my dream. Yeah, so scary.
I mean,
Really?
well, I think when it comes to Osk, Buddy and Jesse could correct me if I'm wrong, but if it has anything to do with dreaming or astral projection, in Oscar's case, it is paranormal because that's like his forte. So I'm not I'm not well versed in like dream premonitions or anything like that, but I do know there are people out there that could possibly tailor it to what it means in real life with, the dreams that you're having. It could be, and this is just at the top of my head, just kind of analyzing what you're saying is you're looking for something that could be that, maybe in real life, you're trying to reach a certain goal and you're trying to get there. That's kind of like what stick it to. What do you think, Jess?
I think with Oscar, it's like a mix of premonitions and and just like being able to go to like a higher,
Frequency.
like a different realm or higher frequency. So he's just um, like he's able to be on that level. So I feel like it's just not necessarily, oh, something is coming for him or whatever, but
Yeah.
just he's like in a space where he's aware and it exists.
I mean, it's a perfect question. Us, like, um, I mean, you're young, you're younger than us. We'll say that. And you have aspirations and dreams. Could it be something that you've been thinking of regularly and maybe it's reflecting in your dream?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say this past month has been a lot more focus in ventures and things that I've been doing outside of the podcast. So I feel like maybe that's what it is. But I also kind of
Possibly.
like Jess said, like I think it's just it comes to the point where like it's a area or a space that is like just known to me already. I don't
Yeah.
feel like there's something after me or
Yeah.
like there's
Mhm.
something negative. It's kind of like I go to sleep and I throw the VR on and I'm there,
Yeah, pretty
and it's
much.
just kind of like I spawn there. But yeah,
I like all
it's
the
interesting though. It's fun
I
though.
like
I'm
all
not
the
gonna lie,
gaming
it is fun.
metaphors. I like all the gaming metaphors here.
Oh,
Just is like, yeah,
God.
they're fucking nerds.
Geeks. I'm like,
Uh,
we are. Just
what about
kidding.
you, bud? Anything for Jesus?
No, nothing new and paranormal. I was attacked today by a spider. We were talking about
But
this,
we
and
all saw it, so
Okay, just
it was a
pure
giant
context.
monster spider.
Pure context for our audience. On our chat, before we decide that we're gonna film this particular episode, Buddy goes, I'll be
I'll
there
be
right
late.
now. I'm running a little
Uh-huh.
late because I almost had something or
No,
someone.
I've had to. I'm fighting. I had to
I'm
fight.
fighting. I'm
Yeah.
fighting something. I was like, okay, they go, fighting at like a gas station. I don't. It's what it sounded like, right?
Right. Like, is there an intruder?
Yeah, something. And I was like, oh man, is he gonna have to call the cops? And like everything's running through my brain. not even like 5 minutes later, he he sends us a fucking picture of a spider on the wall. And I didn't put two and two together. I had completely forgotten that Buddy is arachnophobic. And then it started clicking together when we were kids. Like, he was very scared of spiders. I remember there was a spider in my backyard once, and he was like
Jumping up on a tree.
Yes, like a little child. Like, if I don't know, like a child that didn't want to take a bath. That's what it seemed like.
I had to throw an oversized rake at the one today, and I'm sitting in my house right now contemplating whether I continue living here or I burn the whole thing down. Honestly, like
it's Buddy's like, it's over.
I guess
the
to him
size
it's
of that
scarier than a
thing.
paranormal thing, right?
That thing looked pretty big.
It was huge.
That's what she said. That's what she said to the both of you.
Wow.
Right, there's my one penis joke of the night. Anyway,
of the night of this hour.
The first
of this hour. Hey, Oscar, bring the mic a little closer to you. You're like, it's far.
Let me put down the
maybe the
There
gain
you
was
go.
high.
Yeah, the gain was too high.
Oh, it's probably the fan that's like blowing at me.
No, now I can't even hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're perfect now.
No. Now it's good. Yeah.
You're perfect. No,
Buddy, you're perfect.
Thank you.
You're a perfect. You're
just
a
so y'all
perfect
know,
specimen.
I did start an Instagram page, and it's the Oscar fan page.
It's just
Paranormal
Oscar,
Dudes
different-
Oscar fan page.
It's
Just like picture after
different
picture after
poses and
picture of
pictures
Oscar.
of Oscar. Yeah,
Nah,
I'm
my
filling out
dogs
a
are here.
restraining order.
Oh,
I need
he's
a
filing
restraining
on
order.
his second screen. He's already filing it. He's like, fuck.
Submit to evidence.
Exhibit A, Paranormal Dudes episode 64. Okay, let's get back on track here. All right. So without further ado, with our little catch up, which is honestly one of my favorite parts of the show, and I think some of our audience, specifically Kylie, I know Kylie likes that when we catch up and say our little ghost stories. We'll have more of them, we promise. But let's get to the issue at hand here. And before we do start, I mentioned it a little bit before on the last episode. If you haven't seen that, like I said, you can go back and watch. But at the end of it, I did mention, I don't know if you guys have seen the videos of the priests with various holy water bottles on a table for the patrons of the movie theater before they go in. And I think they're even blessing people before they even do so. I've even seen videos of people, quote unquote, getting possessed during the movie, and they have to shut down everything, and the person's like screaming and hollering. I mean, there's a lot of things that could play into that and kind of explain it. What if that person was already mentally, not there, and it just triggered it? But have you guys seen anything on social media in regards to any of this?
I personally haven't. Although when I start seeing things like this, I tend to kind of keep myself away from it because I want to. I kind of want to be there and experience it when it happens for real or something. But no, actually, I don't follow the social media enough to be able to catch on to that kind of stuff.
Are you saying that I doom scroll, buddy? Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yes.
You sleep a lot less than I do, so I don't doubt it.
That is true. I do sleep a lot less. Let me see if I can.
And you shower with your eyes open.
So I actually that too. I actually I've seen it. Here's a video on TikTok. It's a guy voiceover. It's TikTok. They're always gonna content farm
Number
on there,
one.
yeah. Oh God. So let me go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about. That way, everybody in our audience sees that if you're watching the show and this has happened to you, or it's part of your movie experience when you go watch this movie, leave a comment and let us know. That's crazy. Let's check this out. You guys see the screen?
There is something wrong with the new Conjuring Last Rites movie, so much to the point they had a priest bless the people that went in to go see it. Apparently, it's so scary that people are getting possessed by demons just by watching the movie. And then they thought it would be a good idea to bring out Annabelle, not the real one, but the one from the movie, who you will not convince me otherwise is just as cursed as the regular Annabelle.
Bro, come on. It's
Where
no,
is
it's
this?
not. I don't know.
I swear, these people just love playing with the devil. But in all seriousness, I hear the movie is the scariest out of the franchise, and people have been saying that it's super emotional. It's been leaving them crying, probably specifically because it's the last we're going to see Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, just as a safety precaution, the priest blessed Annabelle to keep the cursed entity that possesses her away from audience.
But that's not okay.
But
Here's the
she's
problem.
just holding it without gloves and all the protectives.
Yeah, so she's walking around with it, eating popcorn and shit, and nothing happens to her.
Yeah,
Bro, did this priest get his license from like Coursera or something? Because, bruh, ain't that
He looks
ain't
like
that
an
ain't gonna help
actor.
nobody.
He's like an extra.
I honestly can't wait to see this movie, but there's no way you would get me to watch this movie if Annabelle was sitting in the theater.
That's not the real Annabelle, though, dude.
I know.
Like, what the? I don't.
Not heard one single bad thing about this movie, and as a huge Conjuring fan, a huge James Wan fan, I cannot wait to see this movie when it comes out September 2nd.
I love how he said that he's super excited and elated and this and that, a huge fan. Got like no emotion from him. I don't know about you guys. It was very little emotion. It was like, I wouldn't go.
I'm just excited because I want to go to Cinemark and get an Annabelle popcorn bucket.
Oh, the one that has like a butt part, or it's like out of her butt where you eat the
Annabelle's
popcorn.
got cakes.
Buddy is going to convert this into something that no one should. This guy in particular, I think he's more on the Hollywood side of you know the Ed and Lorraine Warrens, because he was very much like, oh, if Annabelle was in there,
marketing, yeah,
it looked like a marketing ploy to me. Honestly, the whole I thought it was something serious. Like a local priest was very concerned for people in the area and wanted to be there as to protect these people. But
go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I talk way too much. You talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, this also happened. This also happened. What was it in the 70s, 80s when the original Exorcist Muslim? Yeah, they had priests at the doors handing out rosaries or whatever. So people would be protected from the possible possessions. Right. I mean, it could be the same thing, and it doesn't so much have to be a marketing ploy, but there is a lot of spiritual leaders that go out there and say, hey, you know what, we think that this is going to be a real scary movie, and they're showing a devil or something, so we're gonna be there, and they're gonna be a little extra and hand out things like that.
I mean, yeah, I would love to know what the reality of it is. Like, is it really
are we all going to see it
genuine?
at 4 different theaters, right? So maybe the 4 of us can
we're gonna
report
jump
back to
on the
see.
studio and watch it together.
No, but I mean, like, obviously we're in different places, so
yeah,
to see if like your theater does something, if somewhere in
oh
the valley
yeah,
does.
I for sure. I think that'd be smart, and report it to each other and be like, this is what happened here. I think we'll have like a special on like our experience, all of us. I know Buddy has his own review. That's going to be a completely different scenario, but I think the 4 of us should get together, film a small video for our audience, and talk about our own experience. Because we all see things differently and have different opinions and stuff like that. I could 100% already give you what's going to happen to Jessie, because I already know.
Why me?
She's going to be like, it was not scary. Like, nothing scared me.
It's not that nothing scares me, but if somebody starts like fucking spitting or twirling upside down or crawling on a wall backwards, I'm going to be like, okay, well, this was done in like all the other ones.
Yeah, I get that part. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, the first one, Buddy, because you reviewed the first one, and there wasn't very many jump scares in the first one, correct? Like
Not
very
many
few,
jump scares and very little CGI.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
And the jump scares, I feel like the jump scares in the first one are very tasteful. Like they were done right or done tastefully. But overall, I think it's going to be an experience for a lot of people, and especially us here on the show. And I don't know if you could say it's the end of Ed and Lorraine Warren. They have so many other cases they haven't really touched on. And we've actually, in our last video, like I said, on the Ed and Lorraine Warren episode, there's so many other cases that they were involved in. So I don't know if it's the end. Maybe there'll be some kind of spinoff or something. We'll see. But
Yeah,
overall,
this isn't supposed to be the end. I think this is going to be I wish Ethan was here because he would have more info, but I believe this case is the one case that they couldn't fully solve due to everything that comes from this case. This I can't remember their name. The Smurl family. There was a lot of ridicule that went through this, and as we go, I guess, through the rest of this episode here, we're going to talk about that. But
yeah,
the amount that they were criticized over this and the family, and I guess the bad publicity it got is why the Warrens couldn't finish this case.
Which makes sense. And you also got to look at it in the scope of it's in the 70s when this happened. So I feel where we're at in 2025, a lot of people are a little more open when it comes to the paranormal and understanding of it. Back in the 70s, I'm sure it was, oh my God, you're a witch. We're gonna unalive you. Or even a jokester like me on a podcast. Imagine me, a person that makes too many penis and cum jokes on on a radio show, because that's what essentially is what a podcast is back then. And say I had a radio show and I started going and talking about paranormal stuff like I do, you think people wouldn't find that controversial and want me gone or cancel me back in the 70s? Of course. So
you worked for Howard Stern.
Or work, yeah, you could definitely. I could have worked.
Hippie.
They would have called me a hippie or something. But so let's open this up for the Smurl family and the first signs of what happened. And I'm sure you saw the movie. If you haven't seen the movie or you did see the movie, we're gonna peek in a little further into it. Maybe certain things that we go over are not a part of the movie, which happens a lot of the time when it comes to Hollywood. So Jack and Janet Smurl moved into a duplex in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, with their daughters. At first, what they were experiencing was ordinary noises, flickering lights, and foul odors. I wonder what kind of foul odors. Odors. I don't know. I can't say that word. Rotten eggs rotten egg, doesn't that signify sulfur? It's like close.
Rotten eggs or rotten flesh.
Yeah, for sure. So, which that's happened to a dude that used to be on the show regularly. You go watch that. It's way back then. Just look for Michael. Something happens to Michael. Something. I don't. So then eventually what happened to this royal family is that it started escalating over time. There were scratches on the walls, appliances breaking without cause, and a black shape drifting through rooms. Now, I've experienced black shapes in my time and day, not in the day, but at night at the De Leon house in Calexico, California. There many people that have been in that house, including my family members, saw a black figure. My mom seeing it more than everyone else. So my mom would see this. There was one time where, and this was after we opened the door with the knife and got, I said his name. Our friend, our friend got dragged down the hallway by I'm going to say demon. It was a demon. And after that, my mom started seeing. So their closet was adjacent to the bathroom, and my mom would constantly say that there was a shadow figure that would go from the bathroom to the closet, back and forth. I mean, maybe he just had to take a shit or piss. We don't know. But what ended up happening one day is my mom was asleep, and she woke up, and the entity was standing there, and it moved towards her in a very non-human way towards her, and was pushing down on her chest, and she couldn't breathe. So that is one instant of a black shape that drifted through rooms where I can relate to what's happening to the Smurl family. Now, I'm sure what happened to them was exponentially more traumatic than what happened to me and my family. Has anything like that ever happened to you guys with black shapes in homes?
Yeah.
Any specific incident that's stuck here that you could share with the audience?
Yeah, I was asleep one time, like just in my mom's bedroom, and I was like by myself. Everybody was gone, I guess. I don't know. And I woke up, and there was just a black figure in front of me, like at the edge of the bed, just staring. And I remember I was sleeping on the like on the edge of the bed, so I was like on the other side. So when I opened my eyes, it was kind of like looking over me, like looking down, kind of, and I was like, "What the heck?" And then like as I looked at it closer, it just became like a lady with like a black veil all the way down.
Oh, no. Mm-mm. No. Bud, you got one?
Yeah, one of them was one that I shared from one of my stories that I sent in. Was the figure on the roof of my friend's home?
Yes.
You know that one? And then that was got to be the scariest because that I don't know what that could have been. And then the other one was just the most recent one that me and you had in my camera that swirled around next to me.
Yeah, the trench
I
coat
kept seeing,
thing.
I kept seeing like black figures move around, and anything at the Leon house too was just that one corner in your room was horrible.
Yes, dude. The dark corner, right? On the right? Yes.
I was terrified of that. Yeah.
For that. Now imagine sleeping in that room and vigorously masturbating every night, and it's just there.
I was in the closet a few times for that.
It wasn't a ghost, it was Buddy.
Buddy's in the corner like this.
Intense session.
Heavy breathing.
Buddy's like, I should have gone home. I should have stayed for this. Oscar, what about you?
Oh my God.
2 times. First one is gonna be the mimic story.
The mimic story?
Black shape figure, whatever it was. And the second time was one time I was sleeping in my old room at my parents' house, just on the floor, daylight. And I was sleeping face down. This is the scarier part because usually I get sleep paralysis when I sleep face upward. I was sleeping face downward, and pretend like I'm laying down like this, right? So I can just see it like standing there. And I just hear like
Fuck that.
and then I wake up. I'm obviously paralyzed, but then I finally like come to full consciousness. And it's the quietest I've ever heard the house ever. Nobody was there. I was alone. So yeah, it just freaked me out. But,
what'd you do after that? Go make yourself some pizza pockets to make yourself happy?
I just walked first. I checked all the rooms because I'm like, dude, like, was it my dad that walked in, told me something while I was like in between, you know? Nobody was there though. So I was like, okay, that was something, like, you know, like I don't know, but it was there.
Oscar's like, have a sleep, Dad. Just give me some Pop-Tarts, please. Just some Pop-Tarts. Especially, I just wanted to tie in everybody to kind of relate to what's essentially happening to this poor family that endured this. Jack Smurl later mentioned that it felt like something was feeding on us. That reminds you of Amy.
Yep.
Amy's situation with that entity, I'm going to say that's a fucking demon too. If you want to argue with me that if it's a demon or not, have at it. Leave a comment.
Try me.
Try me. I've had, and definitely that happened to Amy. So honestly, that happening to someone scares me more than just your regular possession, like feeding off of somebody and kind of chip it, like Oscar mentioned with Amy, Dr. Amy Vega, that chipping at someone little by little, because that's scary. You're losing yourself as time goes on. Kind of like how I'm losing myself with this podcast, and I feel like I'm gonna.
It's the gummies.
It could be the gummies. I'm not sure. It possibly could be. Have you, outside of Amy, obviously, have you ever? Because this has happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to Buddy with the amount of entities he's encountered. Have you ever felt like, and it could be a person too, because of their negative energy that they output into the world. Does it feel like they're feeding off of your energy? And it was just kind of, you had to get away from it or get away from that person. And that it's happened to me on both levels with an actual physical person where felt like they're feeding off of my positive energy with their negative, and it was just killing me inside. So I just kind of cut them out of my life. If you're watching this show and you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. So sorry.
If I cut you out of my life, now you know why.
Exactly. And on the spiritual side, of course, the entity that we invited into the De Leon house, I think it was draining everybody's energy in that house or feeding off of us. And as the time went on in that house, I feel like conversations and arguments became more aggressive as time went on. And evidently we left that house, and I think it happened for the better because a lot of relationships were mended post living in that house. What about you guys as far as feeding?
I feel like that happens to me every day, though.
Yeah,
Like just
I
naturally
think
because
that's
of my
true.
energy and all that
Yes.
stuff, right? So,
But do you get it more from people, or do you get it more from like spiritual energy?
definitely people all the time. Like right away, as soon as I meet somebody new, or even if when I walk into the schools or the
Yeah.
different classrooms. Oh my God, there's a classroom that I'm like, oh.
No, I get it. For sure. It can be daunting, especially for someone that's very clairvoyant like Jesse. If you're new to the show, Jesse's very clairvoyant, and she experiences stuff regularly, and it drains her. You can even see it on some of our episodes in the past where we discuss certain things or certain things are happening, and Jesse's just, you could see it visually in Jesse's face that she's had it. And at the end of the episode, usually with every episode we film, Jesse's tired. What about you and us, Bud?
For me, not much. I mean, I feel with certain people, like, yeah, I mean, just if they're negative people, like, you just have to try so much to not only keep yourself positive, but protect yourself from their, way of speaking, way of thinking, way of everything. Just their whole, but just like limiting
Yeah.
time from them, cutting them off is the best thing to do. But
I agree, 100%. What about you, Bud, sir? What about you?
He's like, the spider was negative.
The spider took it out of me. You know, I'm a little different. Like people that are that type that'll drain that energy from you, they're negative, they're whatever. I go towards them. I like to challenge that. But I do know that there has been instances where like Angel or the cowboy in the fairgrounds, where I would see them and it wouldn't be for whatever reason, they'd be there, they'd show up and it would take a lot of energy out of me. Like I would end up in a point where I'd be seeing Angel or the cowboy, throughout the night. And all of a sudden I'm just like drained. Like my whole body is just like, I don't have any more energy.
Yeah.
I want to just fall asleep. And and I worked at night. Being up overnight was never an issue. But yeah, seeing those entities, like, they would suck a lot of energy out of me. And I think also at the De Leon house, um, you did hit that nail just right. We all got sucked of energy there.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I think the energy we were producing was the fear, and it was feeding this thing.
Yeah, I think
And
over time it got
all of
stronger.
us,
That's for damn sure it got stronger.
Everybody
yeah,
definitely got sucked over there.
and it got to the point where, what was that?
Jesse said everybody got sucked over there. I was like,
I wouldn't doubt it, but
I mean, a lot of things happen
I
in that
think
house.
yeah, I think you were right too. Is that it just pulled so much energy out of us that we all became negative, even if it was like towards each other,
Right.
And I
Honest-
mean, our group was real tight knit, and for us to be
Yeah, it was.
negative to each other was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, for sure.
Energy vampire.
Yeah, definitely. And I just to touch on what you said, buddy, I feel like, and I think I mentioned this before, where what happened to all of us in that house, because all of us experienced it in some form or manner. And it definitely, I think it was like the foundation of being into the paranormal and understanding ghosts. Because I mean, yeah, I was very much aware that there was ghosts and that things had happened to me, but this specific I want to say event kind of catapulted me into like the paranormal, and that's why we have a podcast now. It might have taken fucking near 20 years to do this, but it's happening. So going back to the story of the Smurl family, thereafter, where it was kind of escalating little by little, then by the late 70s, the escalation of hauntings became more violent. Beds would shake at night, loud banging noises that neighbors also reported. Now, I don't know if the neighbors were doing the banging, hey, or
Neighbors know my name.
and one of the daughters said she was levitated at one point. And I think that happened in one of the other movies or cases, the one that was in England. There's an infamous picture of the girl levitating, or some people say she was jumping, whatever. But that's kind of ties into this a little bit. So Janet, the mother, claimed that she was essayed by the entity. Whoa. And outside, just to kind of piggyback off of it, Jack also reported attacks. I don't know if it's as serious as getting essayed, but sure, Jack, we get it. That's crazy. That part I didn't know yet. We're kind of like spoiling it for ourselves, but whatever. Did you guys? Okay. Yes, we've mentioned succubuses and incubuses on our, not the band. If you're into the incubus band, whatever. There's a deeper meaning of incubuses. Look it up. And I've personally never met anybody that has an encounter with an incubus or succubus, but which is strange about this entity has to be super powerful if it's doing all kinds of wild shit like this and essaying someone.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys even know that like essay was, I wonder if they're going to incorporate that into the movie.
With this family, the wife reported it, and along with other family members that stayed in the home reported being essayed.
Oh,
while
wow.
being there. Yeah. There was even a dog from that family that was thrown at a wall. So this entity is very,
Very
very
strong. Okay.
I mean, it's like the movie The Entity. That's all he does to the girl the whole movie.
Oh, just essaying her the whole time?
Yes, you've never
That's
seen
horrible. No, I've never seen it. That's horrible.
It's like from the 90s or 80s.
I see one from the 80s.
Yes, it's an old
it's
one.
that one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta watch it. Of unknown actors in it? Okay, I see it.
Yes, but it's really good.
I gotta watch it. Okay, so and kind of what Buddy mentioned, of course, pets within the house. I won't say movie, but it's a house because it's a real one. Pets reacted violently, growling at empty corners. I've experienced that. I think everybody's experienced a dog or cats don't
Rick
care.
did
Cats are
yesterday.
like, oh, whatever.
Cat's like, there's a demon coming. I'm tired. Bye.
Cats are like, yeah, he's right here. Get him.
He's asleep. He slept like 2 hours ago. Just get him right now. So the next, obviously, which I wish we had that kind of. I mean, I'm sure there's outlets or people that could come through. If you don't, for people that aren't religious, to say, and even though the Warrens are religious to a certain extent, they are religious, and or were. So obviously, the next step after all this craziness is happening. Now, keep in mind, all of this started in the 70s. The Warrens didn't come into the picture until 1986.
Dang.
So they were just enduring all of this shit from the mid 70s and the late 70s. Things were already happening to them. And in 86, they were like, wait, okay, I guess now we should probably do something about it. You know, who knows how many people got SA'd, and they're just like, okay,
Yeah, I
I guess
know.
now we'll do it. And of course, during this time, they were already, Ed and Lorraine Warren were already known for the Amityville case, which if you didn't know, that's a real case. It's not just a movie that stars Ryan Reynolds' glistening body with sweat. It's an actual movie. It's
Lumberjack.
an actual case outside of a movie. I'm sorry. So the Warrens claimed that the Smurl house was infested by a powerful demon, which we already figured with all the craziness that it was doing. And it was accompanied by several restless spirits. So he kind of had a host with him. It wasn't just the demon himself or itself. Ed at one point described the demon as inhuman, cruel, and relentless. You don't say. For fucking almost 10 years, this dude was doing something, and the Smurl. Okay, I have a little bit of a qualm, just a little bit. Why did they wait so long to do
Because
something?
nobody probably believed them.
They were very heavily scrutinized. They were said that they had mental illness. They were told that they were hoaxes. This
Mhm.
family was not believed. And I believe for Ed and Lorraine Warren to take on a case, I think they went a lot through the church. So it was more kind of like,
Mhm.
they don't just show up. You don't just call them and they're here. You know, you
Yeah.
had to be, they were sent. And yeah, you were right. What Ed said was it was a very powerful demon.
Yep.
That was able to control other spirits. So when you're looking at that in the demon, you're looking at something with the title of prince, or
Oh, I see.
they have a title,
Like an
which,
influence on other
yeah.
spirits.
So they'll have legions under them, and there's a lot of names, but I understand here we don't share names on this pod, but
But on Buddy's movie review, he fucking does. So if you want to go hear names, go over there.
when that movie review comes, I'm gonna have some more idea, but they never found what demon it actually was. So we would know as far as what like demonology goes. It's gonna have something to do with being a prince, being a sergeant, being having the king or queen or whatever. They have their titles, which enables them to have a legion, which enables them to control other spirits. So it doesn't even have to be a
Correct.
demonic spirit. It could be just a normal spirit, a human spirit. But because of this prince of darkness, this king of darkness or whatever from hell, this demon, it can make that spirit evil as far as controlling it to do things for it. It can will
Right.
it to do these things. And so that's what Ed was looking at, was a powerful, malevolent demon, which I believe has nothing to do with the other
With Val, with
the other Conjuring movie.
Val,
Calvin?
yeah,
We'll call him Calvin.
Calvin.
That works? Okay. Yeah, he has nothing to do with that. Although that one is a prince. So he has a title. He is able to pull in, the legions. I think that one has 26 legions under him.
Oh, wow. That's scary.
So, there's a lot in it. And if you really look at that route of it, it can be real scary and pretty interesting, but really it does get scary.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're like going down a rabbit hole late at night and you're just like scrolling and then you
Nice
realize, what the fuck am I Google searching right now?
I know.
That's totally me at night.
Yeah, yeah, that's Buddy. That's how you all know, our audience, how Buddy can just interject with the topic that we're discussing and have a lot of information. Now you know. Buddy loves researching and having an abundance of information on the things we discuss, which I personally appreciate. So coupled with what we just discussed, the Warrens brought in a priest, rightfully so, like many of their other cases, or it only makes sense that you would, right? So they attempted multiple blessings, multiple exorcisms, and it didn't work. Kind of like how Buddy's outlined before, Hollywood tends to show exorcisms being like, okay, we're going to get this shit done tonight and it's over. But for the most part, it happens over a period of time. And it looks like this is following in line with that. Then they reported after that this entity or demon got even more strength, or was even more powerful. Furniture started levitating. Growling could be heard on captured audio tapes, which is nuts to think of, which I don't think we'll ever be able to share it because it was like on a very old cell phone that Ethan had. Ethan had actually recorded a demon growling at one of the house we lived at. We had it for a while. If you think it ever, scrape that up and we can show on the show, we will. But it's looking a little bleak. We'll find out. Then they experienced cold spots that would drain their energy. So we already discussed draining of energy or feeding off of energy, but I've yet to experience a cold spot I have experienced cold spots in a lot of the houses that I've lived in, but it never really drained my energy. It just kind of like scared the crap out of me because I know what it is. Have you guys, is there a specific story you guys have where a cold spot happened and it just scared the shit out of you? Like it just surprised you out of nowhere?
Remember those what we call the concentration camps over by the mall out here in El Centro?
Mm-hmm.
We were out there one night doing one of our little tours,
Yeah.
trespassing. and this one night I was walking past the old well, it was that big old hole that went down.
Yep.
And right there, I mean, it was summertime. We were all out there. We were all sweating out there.
Yeah,
And as I went past that thing, I had this freezing cold, like air just hit me and run right through me. Like I could feel the cold hit me here and run through and come out the other backside.
It stopped right here real quick like that.
It hardened the nip just a little bit. No,
Like
it like hit me and just went right through, and it was just like, whoa. And that was terrifying. Nothing jumped out or scared me or anything at that point, but that cold spot walking through it was just ugh.
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
think I've ever felt a cold spot. I mean, I've seen crazy shit, but it's been normal
But I think for you,
temperatures.
Jess, it's a little different because it's more of you see it,
Mhm.
Someone like me, I
Yeah.
don't see a lot of it or hardly any of it. So it's more of emotion and kind of like a lot of feeling and senses. And that's why maybe you don't experience it as much. The cold spots. What about you, Osk?
Yeah, I actually experienced this. We used to practice soccer next to a cemetery, and one of the like straightaways where we used to run. Mine, we're running, we're jogging, like we're hot, we're warm, But that straightaway was always like, it felt so good because when you're sweating and the cold
Yeah.
air just hits you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It just felt like there was AC, and we're like, dude, this is right next to the cemetery. Like there's like a brick wall, And I felt that the whole way through the whole straightaway until I
That's
make the
kind of
left turn, then it goes away.
scary.
So yeah.
Right away, I'm sure a lot of people would be like, well, it kind of makes sense. Cemeteries right here. I don't know about you guys. We're already kind of like getting drained a little bit with this topic.
Okay.
So essentially, as time went on, the more climactic, I guess you could say, encounters of the whole Smurl case was when Janet reported being dragged across the floor, which that's happened in the first Conjuring.
Mm-hmm.
Jack claims scratches appeared on the chest while priests performed rites. That's scary, which I forgot to mention to a lot of you here. But Michael, which used to be on the show, he used to be a producer here. One of his friends woke up one night with scratches all on his back, and he actually took pictures of this. So I'll share with you guys later, and maybe we'll share it on Instagram so you guys can see it for yourself. And they're deep scratches, not like the little baby scratches Michael had that one time. No, these were like claw marks. It was very haunting to see for myself. So that happened to Jack. Lorraine Warren, said she saw a hooded, shadowy figure in the home. I have seen shadow figures in my time, and that's why a lot of our aesthetic on the show, on the channel, there's a lot of hooded figures because there's a lot of those experiences are seared in my brain. The Yoo-Hoo story is one of them. And outside of that, during one of the one exorcism that they had out of the many for the Smurl family, Ed said a loud voice growled, "Get out." That is, I can't wait to see that. I hope they include that in the
Mm-hmm.
movie. That's scary to think of. Yet after multiple attempts, the haunting persisted. The Smurls said that the entity would only leave briefly after cleansings or, exorcisms. Kind of like what happened to someone that we know that had a specific entity in their house, specifically a mimic. And there was a limpia that was put together. We haven't shared the story with you guys, but someone that we know who's going to stay anonymous, we're not going to say who it is. Just recently, they experienced a mimic in their home, and they tried to. How do I word this? Without giving the story away, because we're going to share it with you guys at some point. They had someone come over, perform limpia or a cleanse, if you don't know Spanish. And it worked for a little bit, but then the entity kind of came back a little bit. So we can relate a little bit to what we're talking about at this moment, that it kind of persisted and it would only leave briefly. So if that's the case, what do you guys think? So do you think the cleanse or the limpia or the exorcism did something and the ghost was like, okay, I'll come back? Or was it more of the demon, not ghost, but demon? The demon was more of, I'm going to play with them and make it seem like they did something, but I'm going to come back even stronger than before.
Back with a vengeance is for
Back with a
sure. Yeah.
vengeance. I think so
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, they're smart if they can control other spirits and
Yeah, dude.
furniture and all that. They're smart.
And it's just another way of messing with them,
Yeah.
playing off their fear, playing off everything.
Creating some type of psychosis, correct?
All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What about you, bud? What's your opinion on it?
Well, you asked what we think, but I can give you the answer to that.
Oh, okay.
So this demon formed the Smurl house. As Ed and Lorraine and the priest were doing blessings, this house was a duplex. So it was actually like two different, homes next to each other type thing. As they would go through one section where they were having the hauntings, they were having the noises, they were having everything happen, they were playing religious music. They were saying prayers. They were spreading, holy water and things like that to do the cleanse of the home. What they ended up discovering was this demon was actually just jumping to the other duplex to stay away.
Oh.
So as they would perform all their rituals on this end, it'd be in another side, so they wouldn't catch it. And then
nothing would happen. So he was the demon smart as hell, pretty much.
He was freaking
it's just
trying to
staying
attack
away.
the neighbor in the next apartment.
So when they'd make their way to the other side, it would just come back this way.
Go back.
Yeah. And you hit it too about the whole exorcism. It doesn't happen in one night. And and I'm sure somebody will say something about it, but just because you put down holy water or you put down sage, or you do these limpia things, it doesn't mean that a demon can't come back in. Because we have to also remember demons, even though they're some will say they're not, some will say they are, but as far as good and evil goes, they're the opposite of what an angel would be. But they were all fallen angels. So we have to remember that also. It's like, something can be blessed, but a demon can still come through it. So that's what they were having issues with, is it would jump to one side while they were doing a blessing on the other. So we were just they were kind of like you'd say, playing cat and mouse, because it was just running around them.
Cat and mouse, yeah. Hot potato, here you have him for this night. Oh, okay. I mean, to go back on the whole demon and angels thing, that's what is believed for the most part. And then of course you have this other side of the coin, that believe that angels are these big and ugly entities as well. I don't know if you've ever seen those images or videos, buddy.
Ones,
the round ones and they just like look grotesque. Sure, that doesn't mean like there's ugly things in the world. Doesn't mean they're evil. It's just about intent. Yeah. So,
my own theory is I think those big circle round things with one eye that they say are the angels with the 7 wings and all that.
Yeah.
I think that's what angels look like. I believe. Because, people say, I see an angel and they freak out, they big white eyes like, but then you have kids that see a demon and they're.
When you said that, dude, you froze on our end, and you were like this.
I saw it freeze and I was like, I kept on talking, but I think like people see an angel and they freak out, they freeze. But then you have like kids that see demons and they become friends. So I think, in the sense of like what's scary and whatnot. I mean, demons, they could look something normal. They could look like a beautiful woman, a beautiful man,
Another
they'll seduce you in a way,
deception. Yeah, it's deception. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I believe, maybe it is true. Maybe the angels do look like those crazy Goodyear wheels with extra wings. I don't know.
I mean, but like we touched a little bit, just because they seem this way or they appear to you in this way, that doesn't mean they're inherently evil. It's just appearances. So, thank you for outlining that, buddy. I appreciate it. I'm sure a lot of our viewers love when Buddy gets into the zone, the Buddy zone, and just kind of gives us information. But this is a part that Buddy kind of touched on a little earlier, is the publicity and skepticism behind the Smurl case. So the Smurl haunting gained a lot of media coverage throughout the tenure of this demon within this house. But the coverage of this case hit it an all-time high in the mid 1980s, rightfully so. And then eventually that's when the Warrens stepped in to kind of get things going in terms of ridding this entity of this duplex. In 1986, the book The Haunted, it was by the Smurls and Warren Associates. In 1991, there was a TV dramatization on Fox. Skeptics weighed in on the whole thing, and psychologist Dr. Robert Gordon claimed stress and family dysfunction explain the events. I get it. People are going to try to come at it, from an angle of science, and that's fine. But there's so many things that are unexplained at times. Others accuse the Smurls of fabrication for attention. I don't know. Dude, anybody in their right mind that understands entities and what they're capable of doing, especially demons, why would you fabricate that? Why would you open that door to potentially bring a real demon in and torment you for almost 10 years?
Or why would you put your family through that?
Why would you put your
do it
family
for
through
that long?
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
If I didn't get the attention the first time, I wouldn't do it for 10 years.
So obviously, you're always going to have your skeptics and your people, especially now in today's day and age. Everybody has a fucking opinion, especially on the internet. And I think we touched on that a little bit with Doug on the last episode. But the counterpoint to all of this is that neighbors and visitors of the duplex confirmed strange noises and phenomena. Yeah, you could say they colluded with them, they paid them off or whatever, but why go through all that trouble for what? Like, what at the end of the day? So theoretically, say that they did do this, that they orchestrated this entire thing for publicity. What do you really get out of it? Like, honestly, what do you get out of it? A couple book sales? Like, I don't know. Like, there was a
Nothing. What would
dramatization
you
of it
get
on
out of it?
Fox. I don't know. Like, there's two sides of the coin where I stand on it. I really believe that something was happening. Maybe they created the book and the dramatization series on the movie dramatization on Fox. It was more to spread awareness, maybe, or maybe it was to make a quick buck. I don't know, but I'm not going to discount it and say that this makes it fake. That's where I'm at. Where are you guys at as far as the skepticism and the publicity on it?
I want to say, if they were playing an elaborate hoax, I mean, they were committed. But at the same time, I think all this publicity that basically made the Warrens have to stop that investigation, the church from doing their blessings, everything else. I think just too much media got involved in it that it kind of ended up leaving the family in a bad place with something that was really bad.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that point 100%. And I could see the optics, like people that don't understand it that much, or they're just kind of, I don't want to make fun of anybody, but I mean, there's people that are a slave to trend. People that are slaves to trends. Like whatever trend is going on, they hop on it, and the next one, and the next one, whatever's trending at that very moment. And
That's not that wasn't trending in the 70s.
well, no, but that's what I'm saying is that it wasn't trending. But what I'm trying to get at is if something happened in the 70s and everybody was on that wavelength of, yeah, this is a publicity stunt, this is fake. You don't think the masses are going to fall into that category opposed to believing the family? I think personally, the way our society works,
They're going to be followers.
yeah, they're going to be followers and be like, okay, yeah, I believe this, and without thinking about it. And because a lot of society functions in that way. Am I
And
wrong
well, that
on that
also comes
thinking?
from fear
But
too,
Yeah, and
not
fear.
I
wanting
mean,
to get involved in it because they
Yeah,
don't know the fear of the unknown, right? If
yeah,
it is true or if it's not.
exactly. Yeah, because they don't understand, and understanding too is a big portion of it
Mhm.
as well. What are you gonna say, bud?
what kind of I mean, I know enough about the story, but I can't tell you where they're from. Where were they actually from? The Smurl family.
Like originally, or where
No, like
where?
where that home is at, where the Warrens went. Was it like a big town, a big city, or was it a small little, podunk town?
So the Smurl, it's in. Remember, I said it was in West
West
Pittston,
Pittston, West
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
So let me look at the demographics real fast.
From
I'll tell you if it's a
73 to
small place.
74.
West Pittston. 1970s population.
Only 5 people.
Oh yeah. So it's smaller than Calexico. They in the 70s had 7,074 people living in that area.
So
Well,
I
there's
mean,
your
let's look
answer.
at what we talked in a couple episodes back. You know, it was a small community, Vergüenza. You know,
Yep.
I think this is, and you know what? I want to be as cool as that person, so I'm going to agree with them and say that they're making it up. And then all of a sudden, everybody's on the same wavelength because it's like I don't want to be the oddball out.
Of course. I mean, you also got to view it in that lens too. I'm happy you brought that up, bud. Think of it in that lens. So if you live in a city and if you live in a, country town or whatever, kind of like how we grew up, each side has something negative to say about the other side. They call us country bumpkins. We call them city slickers. Same shit. So you don't think some of these people that were skeptics were biased because of that, just because they're from the country?
I feel like it's like what we talked about I forgot what episode it was, but when we talked about like, back then it's the unknown, the uncertainty of like, oh, this person is a witch because they can predict many things, or
Right.
so I just feel like eventually some people didn't want to get associated with this family because
Yeah,
they
I don't
didn't know
want to be
what was
called
going to happen.
crazy. Yeah, I totally get
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So, and especially in the 70s, like, I mean, that stuff isn't trending like we were talking about. It's not a trend that, hey, let's just act like we're getting possessed. And
Yeah.
for 10 years, like more than 10 years, nah, like has to be real, you know? But people
I
just
think I'm there too.
bandwagon.
Like, at that point, that even if they did experience something, they probably wouldn't say because they're seeing all the shit that this other family's getting.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be called crazy. Look,
I mean, Loki,
Jesse.
we see that a lot in other forms of things that happen, right? Where years later stuff comes out because at that moment it just, the fear.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I think fear plays a huge factor in it. I agree with you
Mhm.
100%, Oscar. So, Buddy touched on the aftermath a little bit at the top of the episode, but the Smurls eventually moved out in 1989. 86 is when the Warrens went. Okay. It's 1989. And then they're finally like, I think it's time to leave. I would have left. I mean, yeah, like we all know, if you're not well versed in it, you should know that just because you leave a house doesn't mean the haunting or the possession is gone. It's stuck to you, not the house, unless that ghost is haunting that particular house. That's a different scenario altogether. So new occupants reported no unusual activity. Not a coincidence. Just like I said, it's not the house that's being possessed, it's the people. The case faded, but became legendary within the Warren archives, as we all know. For believers, proof of relentless demonic torment did in fact happen. Yes, skeptics, if you want to say it didn't happen, that's totally fine too, but you could totally fuck off and not watch watch our show, binge our show, just hate watch our show. It doesn't matter. For skeptics, another example of exaggeration, which I feel like there's still a lot of people within that realm. They still express that they're just skeptic of everything. I'm a skeptic of almost anything in my life, but when it comes to the paranormal, I've out of everything I've ever experienced in my life, it's hard for me to be like, maybe I'm nuts. I am nuts, but not for the paranormal. Like I'm not psychotic when it comes to all of that. Um, so at the end of the day, yes, it kind of never went away and it just kind of followed them wherever they went. And buddy, you said that it was never solved. That's the truth. So I don't know. Obviously, just so that everybody knows, all of our audience, we haven't seen the movie yet as we're filming this. We're filming this on what's today, Monday, and we're releasing this on Friday to go along with the movie. And we hope you guys enjoy this episode because we haven't seen it yet. So we're kind of going at this a little blind, but with some information, but with a lot of opinion, which is a big part of our show is opinion and experiences. That's why it's fun. And at the end of the day, what would be your guys's, like your gut reaction or your game plan if you know that this entity still followed you even after you left the house and the Warrens couldn't expel it and you've done everything you could? What's your next move? Like, how do you live the rest of your life with this torment to continue happening?
I'm gonna live outside.
What the fuck is that?
What is that?
What is
What?
that?
That's not here.
That's coming from Oscar.
Oh, singing? Well, that's
Yes.
from my wife.
That.
Yeah, that's her.
What
That's her.
Dude. No. So
You sound like a
okay.
little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar, you were gonna say, what would you do? What would you do?
I would live outside in the wood, not in the woods, but like I'll live in a big ass
like in the wild?
grass yard and just pitch a tent and live there. I feel like being in a house is you're just more prone to things like
Like
that.
you're making it more comfortable for the demon to
Yeah,
just chill?
it's harder to escape. Like if it's out in like the field, like what can you do to me, bro? Come on.
like we're already out
But
here.
but what would you do? Like, would you move your whole family? Like, how do you know exactly who it's attached to?
So what if it is only attached to you, Oscar, and you know for a fact it's only attached to you? Would you leave your family?
Yeah, honestly, I would. I would leave them and just be like, hey, you know what? Like I'm gonna live out on my own. I don't know. It's just a plain field, and
I'm
if
doing
it's
this
like
because
really
I love you
just,
guys. I don't want you to experience this anymore.
Yeah,
Like, bring
that's-
me Tupperware,
heart-wrenching.
sopitas.
That's heart-wrenching. Okay.
and if it doesn't, like, and if it has to end with me, then hey, so be it. Let's do it.
So be it. But it's not happening to your family. I like that. I like that. Liz, I hope you're watching this episode so you can see that Oscar's a real one. Because that was beautiful. I like that. Jess, what about you?
I don't know. I'll probably try to learn a way to live with it or deal with it. Or maybe the same thing, just if I knew it was just me, I'd get away from everybody.
I think we're all gonna have the same sentiment because we love
because that's.
we love our
Or maybe
our
I'd be
loved
around
ones.
certain people, but not my family.
It's funny you say that because I already have mine rattling in my brain.
God.
Buddy, so what would be your course of action?
Unlike the rest of you, I'd make them deal with it.
Make my family deal.
I'd make them deal.
You live with the spider.
Oh no. No, actually, coming from my end, I was brought up religion and Catholicism in church and stuff like that, and a little something. I don't know if I ever shared it on the page or on the podcast here, but I actually, before I went into the fire service and into security and everything like that, I wanted to become a priest, and I honestly wanted to go and study demonology, and I wanted to look into learning exorcism and such. So this is why when I say I doom scroll at night and I'm reading stuff on demons or I'm reading stuff, it's just I've already done it before and I just read more and more on it. But I think if it was to be me and I was to know it was me that was haunted by a spirit like this, I personally would go the spiritual route and I'd try and find, someone as far as like a priest or someone and have them help me expel it.
Right.
So I think that's what I would do. I wouldn't want my family to experience it all the time, but just knowing what I know, leaving my home isn't gonna fix it. I'm gonna have to get away to make them feel better, and I would do everything I can to get it expelled away from me, so that way I can come back to my family.
Right.
Like with a hardcore curandero in the middle of the desert.
With like an
No
ostrich egg.
Yes, and no electricity.
All right. I hope you guys are ready for mine.
Some Ninja Turtle thing.
I'd surround myself by phallic shapes.
So
I go in the sewers and eat
so
pizza.
obviously, yes.
That's a good idea.
Obviously, yes, I would leave. to save my family because I love them very much and I wouldn't want them to be tormented anymore, without a doubt. So that's the normal part. So I'm gone. Yes, you would think I'd become a nomad and just wander the earth in crazy fashion. But I'm psychotic in the good way.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
honestly, this is me being honest and getting feedback from people that are in my life that are with me every day. I'm annoying, and I know that. So first, I would love to see the demon be with me alone somewhere for a long period of time with an erroneous amount of jokes and me testing the demon to see if he can really hack it being around me for so long. It really takes a certain kind of human being to be around me every day. I know that. I know myself. So that's the first test for the demon. Then the second test would be I'd go on a US tour. So US tour, there's a lot of people in my life that I know in my life that have pissed me off or annoyed the shit out of me. And I would take this demon, and go across the United States, go visit these people that I don't like, and kick it with them for a little bit. And they don't know that I have the demon, and I just be, just want to check up on you and see how you're doing, and I just want to. If we had any grievances in the past, I want to put it behind us. And then they get tormented by the demon too, and then move on to the next person and just do that until the end of my days, because I know that I'm never going to get rid of this thing unless I do ultimately annoy it at the end of it, because it's, man, fuck this guy, I can't deal with this shit anymore. I would probably be the worst candidate for a possession um uh or a haunting. I'm extremely annoying. You all know this if you watch the pod. How I act on the pod is how I act in real life. So feel bad for
I
everybody that lives there. Jesse can attest to it.
I want to say that's even though it's a little bit toned down, because sometimes it's a little bit extra.
Yeah, it's
I was
a
gonna say
little
that
more.
your explanation makes me sad
Why?
because I know I won't be part of that list. I hung out with you every day at De Leon house.
I mean, we can always, the four of us, just get a house and
Yeah.
put all our demons together.
We'll just hop on
Oh,
here on
God.
hop on here on the studio like a penis stream of like the demons. Oh,
Oh my God, of course.
So honestly though, like, and then we would be able to jump on the studio and you guys would be like, so how's it going, Sergio? I'm like, oh, this guy's annoyed of me already. He's mad.
He threw
And then
my
Oscar
alpha
would be
brains
over there.
away.
Oscar would be in the corner levitating. And
I know. Oh, this guy's
I'll
just
tell you what,
annoyed
I
by
think
me.
though, if we
He
lived with
regrets it.
if we all lived together, we'd all be like super healthy because Oscar would pretty much be making us all our meals.
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. He'd be
I'm okay
like,
with that. I don't like to
Gotcha.
cook.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oscar's like, bend over. We're going to put this ashwagandha suppository up you.
Be
This
like,
is
let's
the
go,
preferred
Oscar.
route. This gets deep into your cells.
The DNA level.
For real. So that would be ultimately mine. If you expected that, you're right on point. If you didn't expect that and you're new here, that's usually how it goes. And I hope you like that, because there's a lot of that. You can go back and watch older episodes. So at the end of the day, was a Smurl haunting a true clash with a demonic force, or a family caught in the grips of fear, stress, and media frenzy? We'll let you guys decide, and you can leave a comment what you really believe whether you saw the movie or you haven't, and go ahead and leave a comment. We want to talk about these things. Not everybody's going to agree on everything. That's the that's the beautiful part of having free will. But this story reminds us that truth is often stranger and more unsettling, to be honest with everybody, as our audience and everybody here. And you guys know that as well. If the Warrens were right, the demon that stalked the Smurls was never truly gone. I feel like I feel like that in a lot of our lives. There's a specific moment that happens in your life with something haunting or a demonic presence. Yes, that entity might be gone, but remnants linger forever. And for me, obviously, it's the De Leon house in Calexico, California is definitely a cornerstone of my paranormal existence. Um, what do you what do you guys feel is that moment that entrenched you in the paranormal?
That mimic, dude.
The mimic, right?
I can
When you were a
close my
kid,
eyes and see it.
still see it, right? It's vivid. And I think that's the core of it. If you could vividly see it when you close your eyes and when you think about it, and everything is still, I want to say tangible, that means it's some form of scar or paranormal scar. I don't know if everybody's ever remember I brought up paranormal boners. That's a paranormal scar.
Yeah, like let me explain it like this. If I close my eyes and see it, I can feel it how far it was in my mind.
That's so
how
chilling.
ingrained it is in my head.
That's so chilling. What about you, Jess? This is because Jesse experiences so much.
I know. I'm trying to think because I can remember being little and seeing shit. So I don't even know. I think maybe the scariest, well, maybe the first time I just started seeing shit was just at my house in San Perry in Calexico.
Yeah. Just like the abundance of stuff that was happening kind of just over
Just,
time.
yeah, just starting to see things and just hear and experience things. And I'd be like, oh shit, like, is this going to be all the time? And it literally was all the time.
Jeez. What about you, bud?
For me, it's got to be my most scarring like memory of a ghost encounter, and it was when I was a little kid. Um, at our original house, the one that we went on a memory lane here, and Oscar saw my mom and the mimic in the door and everything. But
Mhm.
in that house, I remember there was some kind of ghost or something that would try and reach for me under the bed from under the bed at night. His arm would reach up on the bed, like, there'd be a hand coming like this, like trying to grab me. And now I remember as a kid screaming and screaming and screaming for my parents, and they'd always come in and turn the lights, and there's nothing here, get all upset at me. And I remember learning to cope with it as a kid, as in this thing's trying to grab me. I just need to get away from it. And I would put like my teddy bear between me and it or whatever. Like it was a lot that I saw that, and it scared me a lot. And I remember it wasn't till my grandfather passed away that I stopped seeing it as much, because I would always tell my grandfather about it, how it would scare me. And
Oh.
me and my grandfather were real close. And I was only like 7 or 8 when he passed. So when he passed, the night my grandfather passed, I wasn't told as a kid that he passed.
Mhm.
I was visited by him to tell me he was leaving.
Oh,
And the next morning I told my family, "Oh, grandpa's not coming back." And everybody's like, "How did you know this?" They didn't want to tell us, and I knew he passed because he came and told me. And kind of after that, it was kind of like almost like my grandfather kind of became to me then like
the guardian angel.
kind of like the guardian, like yeah, like that thing that was under the bed didn't bother me as much anymore. And
I punched
but I
that
think
fucking
that's
thing.
where
Leave Buddy alone.
right. Um, yeah, my grandfather, for being what he as old as, well, his age and everything, he was a hero to me. I mean, he got stabbed in a McDonald's line one time with me.
Oh shit.
There, we were trying. This guy was trying to mug us and stab my grandfather.
Jesus.
But a lot of stories with my grandfather, not paranormal. It's another type of podcast. But I think that's where my whole thing with paranormal really took off, was from that as a child. And then I never really talked about it because my parents were very much against it. Like they did not
Yeah.
want me to be seeing things. They did not want me to admit that I saw things. And it took many years for finally me to say, "Hey, I'm seeing things." And I think I opened up to you guys the first time about it at De Leon house. Like I see things. And I
No, yeah,
never
I remember that.
knew it.
I that I
Mhm.
remember for sure.
So yeah, I mean, just years and years coming.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm fucking drained with this episode. There's
I'm
a lot.
so exhausted.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of stories and triangulation in relation to, you know, the move, not the movie, but the case itself. But yeah, it's, if you're new here to, because I'm sure because of the buzz with the movie and the case itself, I hope you enjoy the show. We love talking about these things. We have a slew of other episodes you can go binge and watch. And we want to appreciate everybody and all of our, I feel like we haven't shouted out of our mainstays, our OGs for a while. So yeah, let's KC out in Florida. We're going to shout him out and Kylie as well out in California, Sacramento, right? Is that where Katie's from?
Somewhere
Sacramento?
up there.
Yeah. Yeah, big shout out to them and all of our other regulars that we know we watch. Joe Garcia, we know you're watching. Paul Scott, I know you watch. You might get surprised, but yeah, we know you watch. So, as you can tell, we're hitting the end because this episode has
We're delirious.
definitely drained the shit out of us. I'm getting
Yeah.
very delirious. And it has a lot to do with the energies, big time with the energies, what we're talking about in our own personal stories. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys can make it to another episode. We will catch you guys next week. You guys have anything for our audience before we bounce?
Share your experiences when you go see the movie. Send us your
Yeah.
experience.
Please leave a comment about that for sure. Awesome. Look
And
like you're
buy
going to
our
say
merch.
something disgusting.
No, I was gonna say something about just if whoever watches the movie, share in the comments, share your experience, and drink all the holy water that's on the tables there.
On the table,
outside
just
the movie
drink it.
theater.
Okay. We made it. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Later, dudes.